My child doesn't want to read. My child doesn't want to write. My child doesn't want to tidy up. Or my child doesn't want to go to school. Does this sound familiar to you? Do you struggle to motivate your child? In my job as a teacher, I often have to motivate and capture the interest of unmotivated children. The key to motivating your child, or anyone, including yourself, is that an activity should seem easy and fun. If your child is unmotivated, it probably means that they are not confident of being able to do that task. This could be reading, writing, or even going to school. The task in question will make them feel anxiety, stress, and fear. Hi, I'm Mr. Charles, and I've been teaching English and in particular spoken fluency for around 10 years. On my channel, Mr. Charles's Classroom, I give lots of advice on how you can help your child to learn. In this video, I'll give you tips and strategies that you can use to help motivate your child. We will look at why your child is unmotivated. We will also look at the simple formula for motivation. Then we will look at 3 strategies that you can implement that will help make an activity much more fun and interesting for a child. And finally, we will look at 4 ways to talk to your child about a task so that they are more motivated. Think of tasks that you enjoy. This could be a sport like football, or something simple like eating. Do they seem easy or difficult? They probably seem easy and fun, therefore it doesn't require much motivation to do them. Now think of activities that you don't enjoy. They probably seem difficult and not fun at all. Maybe you're not even sure how to begin them, and you have a strong feeling that you won't be able to complete those tasks or even do them at all. More than 90% of the time, a child is unmotivated because they do not believe that they can do a task. If a child lacks belief that they can do something, then how can they be motivated to even try? Think about the activity that your child is hesitant about. Does your child find that activity easy? Probably not. Let's look at the formula for motivation. It's really very simple. Belief plus outcome equals motivation. Let's look at 2 extreme examples to illustrate how this formula works. I'm going to give you a task. Are you ready? Go across your living room and I will give you $10. Does that seem simple? Do you believe that you can do it? Is it easy? Great! Going across your living room should be very easy, so your belief should be very high, and your outcome will be $10, which is also great for such a simple task. So therefore your motivation for this activity should be very high. Let's look at the second example. I want you to take a maths test, and it's very difficult and you will fail. And when you fail, myself and your teacher will be very angry with you. Do you believe that you will pass the test? Well, I told you that you will fail, didn't I? And what's the chance of a positive outcome? Pretty much 0. In fact, there's going to be a negative outcome. 2 people will be angry with you. How is your motivation to take this test? It's probably going to be very low. When a child doesn't believe they can do a task and the outcome of that task will be negative, they will not be motivated. When a child does believe that they can do something and that it will be easy and fun and the outcome will be positive, then they will be very motivated. So whenever your child has to take on a task, think about the motivation formula. Always help them believe that they can do a task and that when they complete the task, there will be a positive outcome. Now I will tell you 3 strategies to make a task seem easy and fun. First, I will tell you how to use your child's interests to tackle a task. Then I will tell you how to break down a task to make it seem more simple. And finally, I will explain how you can provide a positive example to your child that they can follow. Let's look at using your child's interests to tackle a task. For reading and writing, this is easy because you can simply choose the topics that your child likes. Does your child like dinosaurs? Great, let's read or write about dinosaurs. Does your child like fairies? Let's read or write about that. Does your child seem fascinated about cars, but they're scared of reading? Why not get them to read the letters of a number plate of a car, or learn the names of the cars? You can be creative because your goal is to build their confidence in a given task. Now let's look at breaking down a task. You've probably heard of this idea before. breaking down a task into bite-sized chunks. Can you read a book in a month? Most books are 300 pages, so that seems a lot. That seems like a difficult task. How about 10 pages a day though? That seems simple. 10 pages a day for 30 days? That's 300 pages in a month. I want to give you another special aspect about breaking down a task, and that's getting started. People often don't know where to start a task, and for children this fear is much stronger. So make the early steps of a task extremely simple in order just to get things moving. For example, if your child is nervous about reading a book, why don't you just ask them to pick up the book, read the title, and talk about the picture on the front cover, and then you'll come back to it later. Or if your child is nervous about writing something, get them to open their book and just write the date and the title at the top of the page. The goal is just to get things moving, and once you take the first step, you can make the next step a bit bigger and the next step a bit bigger after that. The third step is to work on a task while your child is working on a task. This is going to show them a positive example. This is very simple. Do a task similar to the task that your child will do next to them or near them. For example, if they need to read a book, read your own book near them. Children love doing things with their parents and they love to copy their parents. So you can set an example about how to do a task, and you are there if they have any questions. So let's look at writing. If your child is worried about writing or seems unmotivated, just say, while you're writing that, I'm going to also do some writing. And you can write an email. You can maybe take care of some work emails. You can take this a step further by setting a timer. For example, for 15 minutes. You can say to your child, let's each work on our writing project for 15 minutes and then we'll have a quick break. Let's talk about how to communicate with your child when you're presenting an activity or a task. First, I want you to remember the motivation formula that I mentioned earlier. Belief plus outcome equals motivation. Think about the activity from your child's point of view. Be excited about a task and the positive outcome that it can bring, and give your child the confidence that they can complete the task. Let's look at a simple example where we want our young child to draw a flower. I will first try to get the child excited about the benefits of practicing drawing. Imagine if you're really good at drawing, you'll be able to draw anything you like. Then I'll use an example to give them belief. Something like this. Remember that tree you drew last week? It was really good. If you can draw that, then you can easily draw a flower. One thing to remember is that the younger your child is, the more simple your explanations and examples should be. The second communication strategy is to get your child's opinion. So many parents forget this crucial step. Talk to your child about a task. What do they think about it? And listen carefully to what they say. Your child will probably reveal any worries they have and anything that excites them. You can then use this information to help motivate them. Let's look at a classic example where a child might be scared and unmotivated. Your child is going to join a new school. You can ask your child if they're excited to make new friends, meet new teachers, and play with new toys. They might also reveal the worries that they have. They might say something like, yes, I'm excited about the new school, but I won't know anyone. You can then talk about that exact worry and help them to rationalize. Maybe you can say something like, all the children will be new, so you can help the other children to make friends as well. There is an added bonus about asking a child's opinion. It means that they feel that their opinion is relevant, and they'll be more confident about opening up to you when they have worries in the future. Now let's look at the third communication strategy, and that's communicating to your child in a way that suits their personality. What is your child's personality like? What things do they enjoy? What things scare them? What things excite them? Does your child like to be in control? Does your child like to be safe? Does your child like to be with friends? Or does your child like adventure and excitement? I can use my daughter as an example. She loves to be in control. So when I want her to help prepare for dinner, I will tell her that she is in charge of laying the table. It's her job and no one will help her. She loves to arrange where everyone sits and likes to put the cutlery, cups and plates in the right place. If I was to tell her where to put everything and she had to follow my idea, maybe she wouldn't want to do the task at all. The final communication strategy is to think of a key skill that a child will need in a task, and then remind your child of when they demonstrated that skill before. For example, if a new task is scary, remind them of a time when they were brave. If a task requires concentration, remind them when they were focused for a long time. So here's an example. Remember last week when you were going to go down the slide but you were really nervous and scared, but you did it anyway, and it was fun and it wasn't scary? Well, this climbing frame will be just the same. You'll be so excited when you get to the top. In this video, I've only talked about some of the strategies that you can use when you're trying to motivate your child. Always remember to think from your child's perspective and to think about the motivation formula. Please let us know how you get on when you're trying to get your child to do a task that they previously didn't want to do. Did you use any of my strategies, or did you adapt them for your own situation? Let us know how you got on and what you did.